How can organizations identify which workflows are actually ready for AI-driven automation? Right now, many organizations are exploring agentic AI. Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you for joining today's session. In this webinar, we're going to look at a new capability inside the Chrome Readiness assessment called Agentic Workflows. You might be asking questions like, can AI agents help reduce manual work? Can we automate repetitive business processes? Can we improve productivity across teams? And those are the right questions to ask. But before an organization can automate work, there is a more important question that needs to come first. Which workflows should we automate? That is where many organizations get stuck. Because in most businesses, workflows are happening every day across emails, spreadsheets, documents, browsers, SaaS platforms, and internal systems. But those workflows are not always visible. They may not be documented. They may vary from team to team. And in many cases, leaders only know that manual work is happening, but they do not have a clear view of where it is happening, how often it happens, or how much time it consumes. So today, we'll walk through how agentic workflows helps bring visibility into those patterns with CRA. We'll cover three main areas. First, why workflow visibility matters before AI automation. Second, how agentic workflows identify repetitive workflow patterns. And third, how organizations can use these insights to prioritize future automation initiatives with more confidence. Let's start with the bigger picture. AI automation is no longer just a future idea. Many organizations are already looking at how intelligent agents can support daily work. These agents may eventually help with tasks that move across multiple applications, for example, reading information from one system, updating another system, generating a document, or coordinating work across different tools. But here's the challenge. AI automation is only valuable when it is applied to the right workflow. If a workflow is rarely used, automating it may not create much impact. If a workflow is not clearly understood, automation may introduce risk. And if a workflow only affects one or two devices, it may not be the best place to start. So, the opportunity is not just automation. The real opportunity is targeted automation. That means identifying workflows that are repetitive, time-consuming, and visible across enough devices to justify deeper review. And that is exactly the gap this new feature is designed to address. Today, many organizations still make workflow automation decisions based on assumptions. A team may say, this process takes too long, or we repeat this task every week, or this looks like a good candidate for AI automation. But without data, it is difficult to validate those assumptions. You may not know how often the workflow actually occurs, how much time is being spent, and how many devices and which applications are involved from start to finish. This lack of visibility creates a problem. Organizations may miss high-value automation opportunities, or they may spend time reviewing workflows that are not actually the best candidates. So, before moving into AI agents or automation planning, organizations need a structured way to understand their workflow landscape. They need to move from, we think this should be automated, to, we can see this workflow is repeated, time-consuming, and suitable for automation review. That is the purpose of Agentic Workflows. Agentic Workflows is a new feature within the Chrome Readiness Assessment that helps organizations identify workflows that may be suitable for automation using AI-driven agents. It analyzes application usage across desktop and browser-based environments. It looks for repetitive workflow patterns. It evaluates how much time is being spent on these workflows. It identifies how many devices are associated with the same workflow. And it provides an automation readiness view based on predefined workflow patterns. So, instead of only looking at individual applications, this feature looks at how applications are used together. That is an important difference because real work usually does not happen inside one application. A user may begin with email, they move to a spreadsheet, then open a browser-based business tool, then create or update a document. That sequence is the workflow. And if the same sequence happens again and again across multiple devices, it may represent an opportunity for automation. Agentic workflows help surface those opportunities. As the feature evolves, these insights will also help organizations understand which workflows could later align with Gemini Enterprise automation opportunities. At a high level, the feature works in 4 steps. First, it collects application usage data across desktop and web applications. This includes application sessions, transitions between applications, browser-based activity where URL data is available, and time spent within detected workflows. Importantly, Agentic Workflows does not collect sensitive user content such as email bodies, document contents, passwords, form inputs, or personal messages. It focuses on workflow patterns, not the content inside those workflows. Second, it detects recurring workflow patterns. In the initial release, the feature supports workflow detection up to 3 applications. So, if the users repeatedly move through a sequence of applications, the system can identify that pattern and group similar sequences together. Third, the detected workflows are matched against a predefined workflow database. This is important because the dashboard does not display every random activity sequence. It only displays workflows that match known workflow patterns in the database. That keeps the insights focused and relevant. Each predefined workflow can include details like the workflow name, description, application sequence, category, matching criteria, and readiness status. And fourth, the feature evaluates workflow readiness. It considers factors such as repetition, frequency, time spent, number of devices following the workflow, and how closely the detected sequence matches with the predefined workflow pattern. The result is a clearer view of which workflows may be ready for automation review. As the capability evolves, Agentic Workflows will also support future alignment with Gemini Enterprise as a recommended platform direction for Agentic Workflow automation. This means organizations exploring AI-driven automation will be able to use workflow readiness insights as an early step toward understanding where Gemini Enterprise automation opportunities may exist. Now, let's walk through what an admin or decision maker would see in the dashboard. The first view is the high-level overview. This gives a quick summary of agentic-ready workflow details across the organization. You can see the total number of detected workflows, workflow identified device count, and you can see the total time spent during the collection period. This overview is designed for quick understanding. An IT leader or business stakeholder can immediately get a sense of automation opportunities across the environment. From there, the dashboard highlights the top automation-ready workflows. This is where prioritization becomes easier, because not every workflow should receive the same level of attention. Some workflows may occur frequently. Some may consume a significant amount of time. Some may appear across many devices. And those workflows are usually the stronger candidates for deeper automation review. So, the dashboard helps bring the most important opportunities to the surface first. When you go deeper into a specific workflow, the feature provides workflow level insights. This includes the applications involved, the workflow sequence, workflow frequency, time spent, the number of associated devices, and the automation readiness status. The workflow sequence is especially useful. It helps admins understand how work is actually moving across applications. For example, a workflow may start in email, move into a spreadsheet, continue in a browser-based platform, and end in a document tool. Seeing that sequence makes the workflow easier to understand. It also helps teams evaluate complexity. If a workflow involves multiple tools and happens repeatedly, that may indicate a strong opportunity for agentic automation in the future. Time spent is another important signal because automation value is often connected to time savings. If a workflow consumes a large amount of time across the organization, even small improvements can create meaningful impact. And device count adds another layer of prioritization. If the same workflow appears across many devices, it may indicate that the workflow is not isolated. It may be a part of a broader operational pattern. That makes it more important for review. Another key part of this feature is browser-based workflow analysis. This matters because modern work is heavily browser-driven. Employees are not only using installed desktop applications, they are also working inside SaaS platforms, cloud dashboards, internal portals, CRM systems, support tools, and other web applications. So, if workflow analysis only looks at installed applications, the view is incomplete. Agentic workflows can use URL-level activity data where available to identify browser-based applications involved in workflows. This gives organizations a better view of real work patterns. For example, if users move from a spreadsheet into a browser-based platform and then into a document tool, that browser-based step can be included in the workflow analysis. This is especially important for organizations that rely heavily on cloud tools. It helps them understand not just which applications are being used, but how those applications connect as a part of the workflow. The feature also provides device-level workflow insights. This allows admins to drill down and understand which workflows are detected on specific devices. That is useful for several reasons. First, it helps validate whether a workflow is isolated or widespread. Second, it helps identify where automation opportunities may exist across different groups or environments. And third, it can support future automation planning or pilot programs. For example, if a specific workflow appears across a group of devices, an organization may decide to review that group first. This makes automation planning even more practical. Instead of starting with a broad assumption, teams can start with the actual devices and workflows where the pattern is visible. At this stage, Agentic Workflows is focused on helping organizations understand where automation opportunities may exist before they move into execution. It acts as a discovery and readiness layer, giving teams the workflow visibility they need to plan future agentic automation initiatives with more confidence. By showing repeated workflows, time spent, and device-level usage, the feature helps organizations make better decisions about which workflows deserve deeper review. The business value of this feature is clear. It gives organizations better visibility into how work is actually happening. It helps identify repetitive, time-consuming workflows. It supports better prioritization of automation opportunities. And it allows IT and business teams to make decisions based on real activity data, not assumptions. For IT administrators, this means better insight into workflow patterns across applications and devices. For business leaders, it means a clearer view of where manual effort is being spent. And for organizations exploring AI, it provides a more structured starting point. As agentic workflows evolves, this starting point can also support future Gemini Enterprise recommendations, helping teams connect workflow discovery with a possible automation path. Instead of beginning with the question, which AI tools should we use? Organizations can begin with a better question. Which workflows are worth automating first? That shift is important because successful AI adoption is not just about having the right technology. It is about applying that technology to the right business process. So, to bring everything together, Agentic Workflows helps organizations discover where AI automation can begin. It identifies repetitive workflows across desktop and browser-based applications. It shows workflow sequences across up to 3 applications. It highlights time spent, frequency, device usage, and automation readiness status. And it helps decision makers prioritize workflows that may be suitable for future automation initiatives. Looking ahead, these readiness insights will also help organizations connect workflow discovery with Gemini Enterprise automation opportunities in the future. The goal is to give teams a practical starting point. First, understand which workflows are repeated and automation ready. Then evaluate how those workflows could support future agentic automation initiatives. Most importantly, Agentic Workflows helps organizations move from assumption-based planning to data-driven automation readiness. Because the first step towards automation is not execution. It is understanding. Understanding which workflows exist. Understanding how often they happen. Understanding how much time they consume. And understanding which ones are ready for deeper automation review. That is what Agentic Workflows brings into the Chrome Readiness Assessment. Thank you for joining today's session. If your organization is exploring AI automation, this is a practical place to start. Use the free assessment from CRA to discover repetitive workflows and identify where your next AI automation opportunity may begin. Thank you.